Welcome to Nirmit Academy. Today we are going to learn about the remaining contents of class 4 EVS, that is from 7th unit to the last unit. Our 7th unit is public institutions. So what are public institutions? Public institutions are those which are established by the government for the public welfare. So some of the public institutions are schools, veterinary hospitals and Anganwadi centers. So here these are the different public institutions. And so in order to get an Aadhaar card, in order to get a ration card, we need to meet a public institution and we need to get the requirements. Especially for Aadhaar card, we do go for the iris scan. So iris is nothing but the central part of our eye. So that iris scan is done for each and every individual. So now this scan is done with a camera called as iris camera, which is invented by Mimizoi. Mimizoi is a person who invented this iris camera. So some other public institutions are Mandal Parishad Office. Now, Mandal Parishad Office is the thing which specially monitors the primary education, agriculture, cattle rearing, fish farming and development. Construction and repair of roads is also monitored by Mandal Parishad Office. And it also provides healthcare facilities, child welfare and sanitization. So these are the works under the Mandal Parishad Office. So coming to the next public institution is police station. The main work done by the police station is maintains law and order. Crime rate will be decreased. It receives and responds to the public complaints. They help people and make us to follow the rules and regulations. They safeguard the child related issues and child protection agencies. Now, coming to the another public institution, MRO, Mandal Revenue Office. So now this office is headed by Thasildar. So the Thasildar is a person, he is going to supervise the activities of VRO, Village Revenue Office, and other employees of that office. And they are going to ensure that government programs are reaching the people or not, whether the programs which are given by the higher authorities are they are reaching the common people or not, that will be ensured by MRO officer. So the caste certificate and income certificate is also issued by the MRO office. And they are going to relieve the people from bonded labors. So they sanction landholders' passbook to the farmers also. They are going to give a passbook. And they are going to resolve the land issues. Now, these are all the roles played by the MRO office. So coming to the next one, PHC, Primary Health Center. The primary health center is another public institution which mainly treats the patients with common disease, and they are going to supervise sub-centers and they are going to see the maintenance of those sub-centers also. And they are going to implement the national health programs in the mandal level. And the safe delivery, mother and child welfare schemes are also monitored by PHCs and refers needy cases to the district hospitals. They are going to refer the any needy cases there, and that will be referred, that is not treated at their level and that should be sent to the higher. So they are going to refer them to the district hospitals. Now these are the works done by the PHC. Now coming to the other public institution is bank. So bank, the main role is to accept the deposits. They are going to accept our deposits. So that can be our savings. Okay. Next, the loan distribution. Any requirement, anything that they require, the loan they are going to get, that will be distributed. And they are going to collect the daily deposits also. And they are going to give loans for women self-help groups. Asha, you heard about Asha workers, and they are going to give a loan, Dwakra. All these are the self-help groups. By using these groups, women are going to get some loan also. Now, all these are the works done by the bank. Now, coming to the next one, Mandal Resource Center is another public institution. So, their aim is to enroll all the students or all the school age children in a school. And they are going to monitor the schools, whether it is providing a quality education or not. They are going to, simply we can say that they are going to supervise a school. The school is under the supervision of Mandal Resource Center. That can be a question. So action on irregular teachers will also be taken by the Mandal Resource Center. And implementation of midday meals. The government is providing us with the midday meals. Now that whether it is implemented in a proper way or not, it is also monitored by Mandal Resource Center. So all these are the works done by the Mandal Resource Center. Now coming to the next one, veterinary hospital. So veterinary hospital is the hospital which mainly take care about the health of all animals. They are going to diagnose and treat the animals. They identify the disease which can transmit from one animal to the human, and they are going to take a preventive measures against it. So that is another role. And coming to the other roles, they are going to give us suggestions on cattle rearing or animal rearing. When they are rearing a sheep, goats, or hen, or any poultry, so they are going to give us suggestions that will be given by the veterinary hospitals. So they are going to educate the farmers on how to take care and give nutrients to the animals. So it can be a buffalo, cow, or whatever it may be. So they need to supply it with the proper nutrients. Now those information is also given by veterinary doctors, who are present in the veterinary hospitals. Now all these are the roles played by the veterinary hospitals. So Mandal Parishad president conduct. Now generally we studied about the Mandal Parishad. So that Mandal Parishad is headed by a president. Now this president is going to conduct a meeting with the MPTC, ZPTC and cooperated members and all the Sarpanch. So for the smooth running of all the activities of public institution. So when you see at the district level, we could find a collectorate office. So not only a Mandal office, not at Mandal office, collectorate, there are different departments of government at district level. The main motto of it to serve people. So if you see the collectorate, they are going to release the funds to the mandals and panchayats to take up different welfare activities. So the public property means the public institutions are run by our money, the money which is paid in the form of tax. So whatever the money they are collected in the form of tax and fees, that is required or that is used to maintain the public property, like repairing of street lights, repairing of public properties, and repairing of any hospitals or schools, and everything will be done with the help of those collected money. So that will be a public property, safeguarding of the public property. So there is a right, very important right, that is Right to Information Act 2005, which is released on 12th October. So the main motto of this right is to get information from public institutions. So normally, any kind of information we can get it from a public institution. So within a 30 days, that can be a question. So within a 30 we are going to get a information. So what we are going to ask? So we are going to get an information within a 30 days. If the information is about right to live and the freedom of individual, information will be received within a 48 hours. So the main aim of this act is to give information to the people voluntarily by the government. Now these commissions for information functions as an autonomous body at state as well as the central level. So this is about the gist of 7th unit, public institution. Now coming to the 8th unit, house, construction and sanitization. So what do you mean by a house? It's a thing where do we live. Okay, we are going to live at a particular place. Now that is nothing but a house. So we need house to live in order to protect ourselves from the sunlight, rainfall, or all other weather condition, robbers. So we need a protection. So in order to protect ourselves, we need to stay in a house. Okay. So a mason is a person who construct a house. So mason is a person who construct the house. The past days, olden days, the houses are used to made up of mud, water. So they used to mix mud and water. We are going to get a lumps, and using those lumps, they used to construct a wall of 6 feet. So on that wall, they used to make a bamboo frame, and they used to cover with a palm leaves. So in that way, they are used to construct a house. So mud roof, even slowly shifted to the mud roof, the roof with the mud. So in that case, how they have prepared that roof? By using sand and the lime, they have mixed it and they have constructed the walls. Walls of ancient forts were also built up of stones and lime. So this can be a one of an important question. In ancient time, the walls of fort are made up of stones and lime. Later, they are started constructing the houses with baked bricks, using a baked bricks and lime. We pasteurize the wall with sand and the lime also. Roof is also made, roof with a take. We are going to make a roof also, and the flooring is done with a Bangalore tiles or Thandur tiles in different way. So earlier days, each and every home there used to be a neem plant and which grows into a neem tree. Later, or simply they have started constructing the buildings with a slab and brick wall with a cement plastering, cement roof. So coming to the modern construction, the modern construction uses iron, steel, concrete pillars, cement bricks, and this cement bricks will be plastered wall. So you are going to observe the plastered wall, and this wall will be covered with a wall care putty, right? Now these wall care putty, even onto the roof, there will be a false ceiling with a plaster of Paris. So the false ceiling in any home is made up of plaster of Paris. So I think you know the formula of plaster of Paris is CaSO4 half H2O, and the flooring is made up of marble or a ceramic tiles. Electricity is given to those houses either from external electric source or using a solar panels which are constructed on the terrace. And even a solar water heaters are present. The roof is covered with a plastic sheet with mud in order to make a roof gardens. Now these are the model of houses constructed in a modern society. Go in detail with the making of bricks. So bricks are generally strong and red in color. So these bricks are prepared by collecting the clay, bankamatti. So that clay is mixed with the ash. Now ash and clay with some water, we are going to get a smooth paste. Now that smooth paste will be filled in a mold. Mold in the sense it occupies a particular shape. After 2 days of drying, it should be demolded, and that means it should be removed from a mold. And all should be arranged in a kiln. And the kiln is burnt for 30 days using firewood and husk. So when it is burned for 30 days, it becomes hard, and slowly it starts converting from normal blackish color to red color. Maintaining to a room temperature, or after coming to the room temperature, it will be taken out and it will be ready for sold. So in addition to the bricks, we use stones, wood, cement, gravel, steel, tiles, or etc. are also used. So construction of house. So from where we are going to get the foundation stones. The foundation stones, we are going to get it from Tandur and Kamam. So gravel stones are how they are obtained. They are obtained using a huge rocks crushed to a smaller pieces. So coming to the other building, it is an apartment. So apartment is a building where it occupies a less area and more families can be accommodated. So doors made of iron, or it can be made up of wood, teak, or some other. So coming to the next important thing, different types of houses. So we could observe the rainfall is more in northeastern regions, especially Assam, Meghalaya, Nagaland, etc. So Britishers, they have constructed a house with a wood called as wooden houses. They have a bamboo house. Now that bamboo house is present on bamboo pillars, or they can be a bamboo pillars or wooden pillars. Now these are the wooden pillars. On the wooden pillars, you could find the bamboo walls. Now it is a bamboo wall, and you could find a roof in a slanting position. Since that area is highly exposed for the rainfall, the roof should be a slanting roof. So as I mentioned you, the lower part is a stilt. The main purpose of the stilt is to passage that allows the rainwater to drain off. So Kashmir has the cooler climate. Sometimes temperature falls to zero. So here houses are constructed on mountains. In Srinagar, we could find maximum water area. That means water body you can find, especially on the Dal Lake. In Srinagar, there is a Dal Lake. So on the Dal Lake, you could find a houseboat called Donga. So many poor people, they doesn't have own house. So the government is constructing for those people, poor people who are living in huts or streams or roadside or in pipelines or slum area. For those people, the government is assigning a house and they are constructing the house and they are giving to the common people. If a person has a house, there should be a toilet. So that will be a sanitation. So excretion in the open area is prohibited and the for human safety only. So excretion in open place is highly unhealthy habit. The house flies sits on that stool and spreads different kind of diseases, especially cholera and typhoid. Even worms are going to spread. Anemia deficiency of iron is caused due to the worms in the stomach. Food taken is absorbed by the worms in the person. So the person, if he has a worms in his stomach, what we could observe, the person will be very, very weak. Why means, or whatever the food he is taking, that will be absorbed by the worms. So the deworming tablets are issued by the government in the PHCs. So these deworming tablets must be taken twice in a year. So complete sanitation. So government providing toilet facility for all the people. So let me give a question over here. So Anitha Bhai is a lady who won a cash prize of 5 lakhs Sulabh Sanitation Award from the CM Sri Jai Ram Ramesh, who is the CM of MP. So she's a lady who won a prize for the sanitation. And the villages which have 100% sanitization, they are going to get a Nirmal Puraskar from President of India. Even a garbage coming from the houses are separated as wet waste and the dry waste, and the waste which is coming out from the house, that is converted into a fertilizer. We know about composite preparation. By using the wet waste, the wet waste is slowly converted to a fertilizer that can be used for the plants. King Lechand is a person from Chandigarh. He started collecting the garbage from different areas and he used to construct a rock garden. So who constructed a rock garden? Lechand, using a garbage. So the garbage which is coming from the household, and not only a household or any other industries or factories or whatever the thing, so it starts polluting the environment. So we need to follow 3 R's to protect our environment. So what are the 3 R's? 3 R's is reducing the garbage. So if we reduce the garbage, definitely the production is also reduced. So in that way, we need to think and we need to reduce the garbage. So instead of using a plastic covers or plastic bags, we need to use a country made steel and any other metallic substances. And reuse any repair or misfunctioning of an apparatus. Now that should be repaired and that should be refilled. So if you throw it out, what happens? It will be a loss to the environment. Rather than throwing it out, we need to repair and we need to reuse it. So if we do in this way also, the production will be reduced and definitely we are going to protect the environment. And recycling means the reprocessing iron, plastic, glass, paper and electronic goods. So what are the 3 R's? Reducing the garbage, reduce, reuse, recycle. Now coming to our 9th unit, our village are tanks. So water body. The water bodies present within a village is a tank and a pond. So these are started constructed even in the ancient days also. So the king of Kakatiya and Nizam dynasty, they constructed the chain of tanks all over the Telangana. Connecting the Telangana region, they constructed different tanks. A sluice was built completely with the stones to let extra water flow through that. So what is this sluice? It is completely made up of stones. If any excess water is present, if the tank is completely filled and still there is a inflow of water into the tank, at that time the water will be more, it exceeds. So from some or the other way they should come out. So they are going to come out from the sluice. So big tank in Telangana. One of the big tank in the Telangana is Ramapha Tank. So Ramapha Tank is present near to Ramapha Temple in Jaishankar district, Telangana. This is man-made during 13th century, which has a length of 24 square kilometers. The Ramappa temple is specially known for its sculpture. Next, coming to the another big lake is Panagar Tank. It can also be called as Udaya Samudram. It is present in Nalgonda district. And 3 kilometers away from Nalgonda, Nalgonda is built by Kakatiya King Prathaparudra. Source of irrigation is the main source of irrigation is Panagal Tank. Chaya Someshwara temple is also located at Panagal. Now coming to the another tank, Hussain Sagar. So this Hussain Sagar is present in Hyderabad. Now that is constructed by Qutub Shah in 1562. They are going to join the two cities, or they are going to join the twin cities Hyderabad and Secunderabad. Its area is 5.7 square kilometers. Nowadays, this Hussain Sagar is completely filled with a type of plants, Hick Horena, and the depth of that Hussain Sagar is around 32 feet. Now coming to the another tank, Usman Sagar, or it can be called as Gandhipe Tank. It is built on the sub-river Musi. It provides a fresh water for the people who are living in the city. So what are the main advantages of tanks? The main advantages of the tank is it's the only source of agriculture. The fiber plants like amaranthus, jute, flax, etc. are soaked in these tanks and they start making ropes. So one, we use tanks for agriculture purpose. The other one is to soak the amaranthus, jute and some other. And once they are soaked for 3 days, we can convert into a rope. That is also one of the application. And farmers take up the desiltation during summer. So what is desiltation? Desiltation means in a tank, there will be a fertile soil. So that fertile soil will be taken out from the tank and it is used in their fields. So that process is called as desiltation. Desiltation means removing the fertile soil from the tank and using that soil in the field, in the agricultural field is desiltation. So nowadays, these tanks are polluted because of factories, industries, household waste, toilets, and because of even Ganesh idols. And coming to the next, it is drying of the tank. It can be called as scarcity or simply we can call it as drought. The drought is mainly because of lack of rains. That lack of rains is also because of humans, especially because of global warming, greenhouse effect, increased pollutants in the environment. All these are the reason behind the drought. So how to maintain a tank? So in order to develop the tanks, government has formed agricultural water management society. So their work is to repair the canals and sluice way outlets. So government of Telangana introduced a mission Kakatiya for desiltation all over the state in order to increase the water storage capacity. Topmost layer will be scraped, will be collected by the farmers. Now that process is under the government of Telangana, which is titled as Mission Kakatiya. Udaipur is called as City of Lakes. Udaipur, where the Udaipur is present? Udaipur is present in Rajasthan. For drinking and agriculture purpose, they use among all, Kola is important lake which is constructed by Banjaras. Coming to the next unit, 10th unit, food and health. So we know that in any government school, they start provided midday meals. The Supreme Court of India has ordered that nutritional food to all the children in every school. Then the government of India has been serving a midday meals. What kind of food we need to eat? We need to eat a food which is covered properly. If it is not covered properly, what happens? Germs, flies, microbes, etc. will contaminate that food, and if we consume such type of food, we start falling ill and it makes a health issue. So harmful microorganisms makes the food items poisonous and they are going to cause harm for us. So, in order to get rid of those microorganisms, we can add a preservators like extra salt. Now, coming to in order to store the food items, we can use a fridge. So, in the olden days, there is a fridge called as Janata fridge, or we can also call it as a poor man's fridge. So in this poor man's fridge, there are two pots. One is a bigger pot, the other one is a smaller pot. So the bigger pot is bigger in size, whereas the smaller pot is smaller in size, and smaller one is inserted in the bigger one. So whatever the gap which is present between a smaller and the bigger pot is around 2 to 3 centimeters, that is completely packed with the sand. And whatever the vegetables we want to preserve, whatever the thing we want to preserve, everything should be dumped into the inner pot, and it should be covered with a gunny bag or a cot. So, and the area between the two pots, it should be watered frequently. So if we do in this way, we can store the vegetables and fruits for many days. And now this fridge is called as poor man's fridge. So if you see on electric fridges, you could find 5-star saving symbol. That means it consumes less electricity and saves power. So wastage of food generally done during any functions, marriage parties, any events. Food is wasted at home also. Food grains like rice, wheat, pulses, oil seeds are easily attracted by the insects and they start growing also. So we need to, in order to avoid it, we can use neem leaves. So neem leaves will be eaten by the insects and they will be killed. And use food wisely and eat completely. We should not waste of food. Now coming with the next one, means of transport. So transport means moving from one place to another place. So what do you mean by a means of transport? Means of transport means moving from one place to another using a vehicle. It can be a rickshaw, it can be a car, it can be a train, aeroplane. So based upon what type of transport system, whether it is roadways, railways or airways, based upon the transport system, we are going to use a vehicle and we are going to move from one place to another place. That will be a transport. So nowadays, the tickets are issued by a machine called as TIMS, ticket issuing machine system. So 10% of concession will be given to the people having Vanita and Navya cat cards. So if a person is traveling without a ticket, he will be punished. He will be given a compensation amount of 500 or 6 months of imprisonment. So traffic signals, signaling system, red light, yellow light and a green light, that should be followed strictly. So you may get one more question. In a train journey, train ticket, what are the things you could find? So on a train ticket, you could find a ticket number, PNR number, train number, date, kilometers, adult and children, number of adults and the children, coach or berth sex number. So SCR, South Central Railway. If we see the South Central Railway, we could find a Telangana Express, Kakatiya Express, Singareni, Bengaluru, and Intercity, Rajdhani, Sampark Kranti, Tungabhadra. Now coming to the next types of clothes and languages. Different types of clothes wearing and different kind of language speaking people we could find in different means of transport system. So if we see a train reflects the national integration. Why? Because it runs through different states, different cultured people, different languages. So we call train as a national integration. Now coming to the last unit of our fourth class, Indian history and culture. So modern man evolved from the primitive man. So who are the primitive mans? Primitive mans are those who led a life of wanderers. Wanderers mean they used to move from one place to another place. They used to live in caves and burrows. Simply they used to eat in a raw way. They have not cooked or boiled it. Simply they used to eat. Slowly they have transferred from state of collecting food to producing food, and they started cooking a food also. Now coming to the Indian history, Indus, Harappan civilization, Indus Valley civilization was an urban civilization. Okay, so in this civilization, the people have taken agriculture as main occupation. Their main occupation is agriculture, that to growing of chief crops like wheat, paddy, and barley. So copper, aluminium, brass are also used to make articles during that civilization. They traded with West Asia and Egypt Lothal was their important port city, worshipped Lord Pashupati and Mother. Next, the place where the remains of ancient period. So anything which are collected from the ancient period, if they are present in a particular place, that is called as historical museum. So here we could find a Salajig museum in Hyderabad, tribal museum in Srisailam. So in a tribal museum, you could find an articles relating a culture, tradition, and heritage of tribals. So what is a culture? So culture means what kind of clothes we wear, what kind of language we speak, what kind of festivals we are going to celebrate, which type of crops we grow, which type of food we eat, what kind of games we play, so what type of songs will be sung. So all these are the reflection of a culture. So if you see a temple, the monument which are present in a temple, it also represents our culture. Our culture also states that we are worshipping a tree. That means we are giving a high priority to the plants and trees. So we are worshipping animals. Cow is worshipped. Birds are worshipped. Peacock is worshipped. Land, water, air, everything is worshipped. So our culture states that we are worshipping. So based upon the way we are worshipping, we are going to reflect our culture. So monuments that reflects Indian history. We'll go with some monuments which generally reflects the Indian history. So one of the important monument is Saranath Stupa. So this Saranath Stupa was constructed by Ashoka the emperor. It is a dome shaped made up of bricks and stones called as stupa. It is present near Varanasi, UP, Uttar Pradesh. It is very, very ancient, right? Now coming to the next important one monument is Ashoka's pillar. Even it is at Saranath. So that Ashoka pillar is a stone pillar made up of a sandstone. It is collected from Chunar near Varanasi. So on that pillar, you could find four lions which are facing four different directions. The same lions we could find on our coins. So Rajasthani style of sculpture is seen in on that smooth pillar. So now coming to the next monument, Telangana Martin Stupa. So it is the spirit of Telangana movement. Now coming to the next monument, Qutub Minar. The Qutub Minar is located in Delhi and it is started by Qutubuddin Abik and it is completed by Iltutmish. Right? So it has a length of 72.5 meters. Now coming to the next monument, Red Fort. Red Fort is present in Delhi and the national flag is hoisted on the Red Fort on Independence Day. That Red Fort is made up of red colored stone. It's a mix of Indian and Persian style. Okay. So coming to the another monument, Charminar. Charminar is seen in Hyderabad. It has a length of 58 meters and it is constructed during 1591. Next important one is Thousand Pillar Temple. It is seen in Warangal. Lord Shiva will be worshipped in that temple and it is constructed by Kakatiyas. So it's one of the beautiful sculpture. Now we'll study about important personalities like Ashoka. Ashoka is one of a great personality. So he's a grandson of Chandragupta Maurya emperor. So Ashoka adopted Buddhism. He spread preaching of non-violence. So in our flag, you could find a chakra, right? Dharma chakra, which is from Sarnath Stupa only. Now coming to the another important personality, Chandragupta Vikramaditya. He is from Sri Gupta. He's from a Gupta emperor in 320 AD. There are 9 poets in that empire called as Navaratnas. So Kalidas was famous among them. Ellora caves are constructed by Guptas only. The sculpture and the painting is also unique regarding the Gupta dynasty. Another personality, it is Ganapati Deva and Rudrama Devi. They both are Kakatiyas. The Warangal Fort, Thousand Pillar Temple, Ramapha Temple, tanks were built by Kakatiyas. Now, other personality is Sri Krishna Devaraya, and it is ruled from 1509 to 1529. 8 poets, Ashtadiggajas, was present in his empire. He is also a poet who written Amuktamalyada. According to Sri Krishna Devaraya, he said Telugu is the best among all languages. And coming to the next important personality, Akbar, Mughal emperor and a great administrator. Next, Shivaji is a brave man revolted against the Mughals. He introduced a Maratha kingdom. He is a follower of Hinduism. Samartha Ramadas, Guru of Shivaji. Tukaram is a great saint of that period. Next one, it is Mir Usman Ali Khan. Is a person of Nizam dynasty, Muhammadin and Urdu and Dakhani, Telugu, Kannada and Marathi. Nizam Ali and Sagar were constructed. Usman Sagar in 1920 on River Musi. So all these are the contents related to the fourth class. So thank you very much.